It's difficult to pick a favorite anything. A favorite song, a favorite movie, a favorite book. The term favorite is easy to define, but the act of deciding a favorite is tough. We are constantly changing. Our opinions get revised, our points of view shift. We're continually processing new information which informs the way we look at the world and everything in it. So, picking a favorite anything seems like a choice made in a single moment, a choice made with current information that in the next moment could perhaps be completely different. But for me, there's one scene, one moment in all of Star Wars that I have called my favorite for decades. On the surface, it might not seem like much. Sure, it's overtly beautiful in composition and score, but it's also a beautiful metaphor for life. What scene am I talking about? The choice, the path. As Robert Frost wrote in The Road Not Taken, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. As Luke Skywalker trudged across the desert sand and stood on top of the mound, he was searching for something within himself, a calling that he might not be able to articulate, but one that he felt pulled towards. Yes, the circumstance of an evil galactic empire was obviously a factor in the decision he made to leave the farm, but it was more about proving to himself that he had the fortitude to take the road less traveled, to leave behind the comfort of home, the blanket of familiarity, and take his first step into a larger world. The twin suns on the horizon are the two roads that diverge, the two paths, the two choices that would impact the rest of his life. This image, while it is alien to us and comes out of a science fiction film, is incredibly relatable. We've all been there, not to the extent of having your aunt and uncle murdered by thugs of the Galactic Empire, but we can relate to the decision-making process that follows an event in our lives. Or maybe there's no external event. Maybe you wake up one day and decide to try something new, an internal event. A light bulb going off in your head. Maybe you act on the itch you've always had to start a YouTube channel, or start on the first volume of your comic, or learn an instrument, or switch your major to a subject that interests you more now than the major you chose at an earlier date. Maybe you decide that the path you're currently on isn't for you, and you hop on over to the other sun in the binary star system. The presence of John Williams' beautiful score without a doubt plays a role in this scene being my favorite. It starts out quiet, a melancholy melody, and it ramps up at the exact moment where Luke makes his decision, right after we see his two paths. He has chosen. He might not truly know that he has chosen. The death of his aunt and uncle hasn't happened yet, but he has an itch for change, for something bigger. He still resists the change at first. But the death of Beru and Owen sealed the deal, an event that would shape the rest of his life. The John Williams score grows louder and more defined. Luke is saying goodbye to this life, gazing out at a landscape that he has viewed his entire life for perhaps the last time. The hero's journey begins in an ordinary world, a mundane reality, a static existence. It is followed by a call to adventure, a desire for something different, a hunger to chart a new path. Is that unique to Star Wars? Of course not. The hero's journey is common in all forms of storytelling, from science fiction to drama, from myth to religious ritual. But Star Wars summed it all up in a beautiful and engaging scene. One that, for a reason I can't quite explain, impacts me more than any other I've seen or read. It is one of the best examples of editing for emotion. The cinematography is brilliant. The score is the bow that wraps it all up. It is the cue for when Luke has crossed the threshold. And that is why this scene is my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. What's yours? Let me know in the comment section below. HelloGreedo, out.